Chosen one, you are not watching this by accident, and you are not here because of chance, curiosity, or coincidence. Heaven aligned this moment with precision. Your spirit was guided here because the appointed hour has arrived, and what God has been preparing in silence is ready to surface. This is sacred timing, a kairos moment when divine intention interrupts ordinary time and destiny steps forward. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a supernatural transformation. Something can shift today, tonight, or in the coming hours, not because you forced it, but because heaven has declared it ready. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, the vision waits for its appointed time, and now that time has begun to speak. The delay was not denial, it was divine preparation. Anointed one, you may have felt an unusual restlessness in your spirit, a quiet expectancy you could not explain. That was heaven signaling that a new season is opening. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 reminds us that there is a time for every purpose under heaven, and this moment carries your name. In the right time, Isaiah chapter 60 verse 22 declares, God makes things happen swiftly. Prepare your heart. Heaven is revealing your royal identity. Your true family is calling. What is unfolding is not random, and what is coming will not be small. This is the hour of alignment, awakening, and transformation. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Heaven is not observing your life from a distance right now. Heaven is intervening. There is a rearranging happening in realms you cannot see yet, but your spirit already feels it. Resources are shifting, conversations are being stirred, doors are being positioned. And when the Most High decides the timing has arrived, nothing in the natural world can interrupt what has already been authorized in the spiritual one. I have learned this through lived experience. I've watched moments arrive that no effort could have forced, and no resistance could have delayed. When God marks a season, it moves with precision, not noise. Chosen one, you carry something unmistakable. There is a royal imprint on your spirit that existed long before you had language for it. That is why you felt different, even when you tried to blend in. That is why certain battles came for you early and without warning. You were never being punished. You were being proven. I know what it feels like to wonder why life feels heavier for you than for others, why the pressure seems constant, why the resistance feels personal. It's because heaven entrusted you with capacity before it entrusted you with visibility. There were seasons in my own life when doors closed so hard it felt intentional, almost cruel. I questioned myself. I replayed conversations. I wondered what I missed. But with time, clarity came. I realized those doors did not close to block me. They closed to redirect me. Heaven was protecting me from rooms that could not sustain what I was becoming. And chosen one, if you've walked through losses, delays, separations, or confusion, understand this deeply. None of it was wasted. Every moment was positioning. You've likely felt it already, that quiet internal pull to step away from certain people, habits, or environments. It didn't come with drama. It came with clarity. That wasn't isolation. That was alignment. Heaven was lightening your load because royalty does not travel with excess weight. There are assignments ahead that require freedom, discernment, and emotional maturity. The remembrance rising in you right now is not nostalgia. It is identity returning. Chosen one, your season of hiding is ending. What was spoken over you is beginning to manifest just as the vision waits for its appointed time and then speaks. This is why your spirit feels restless, yet hopeful at the same time. That tension is not anxiety. It is destiny drawing near. I remember recognizing that feeling in myself, the strange mix of discomfort and expectation, like something was about to break open, but I couldn't see how. That was heaven leaning closer. The unusual dreams, the sudden clarity, the moments where silence feels louder than noise, these are not random experiences. They are signals. Your royal family has been drawing near, stirring your atmosphere, so you would recognize that spiritual silence is ending. When I went through this phase, I thought heaven had gone quiet. But later, I realized heaven was busy rearranging structures behind the scenes, so that when the breakthrough arrived, it would last. Chosen. 1 angels are being assigned. This is not symbolic language. This is spiritual intervention. Financial barriers are weakening. Cycles that once felt permanent are beginning to crack. You may not see proof yet, but you can feel the atmosphere changing. Breakthrough is always felt before it is seen. That impatience you've noticed rising is not irritation. It's growth. Your spirit is outgrowing environments that no longer match your calling. You are being positioned for influence and abundance, not the kind that impresses people, but the kind that fulfills assignment. You are not called to chase opportunities. You are called to attract alignment by walking fully in who you are. I have watched heaven elevate people quietly, moving them from overlooked to undeniable without announcement. That same quiet elevation has begun for you. Pay attention to the connections forming now. Some will feel unusually timely. Others will seem ordinary but carry destiny within them. Heaven hides miracles in simple moments. As this awareness deepens, you may also realize something important. You were never meant to walk this path alone. The separation you once felt was preparation. You were protected until the moment you were ready to be revealed. Your spiritual senses are sharpening. Discernment is increasing. You are beginning to know when to move and when to wait. Trust that inner compass. Do not ignore the whisper pulling you away from the old version of yourself. This is divine movement. You are being aligned with your royal identity, and anything that cannot carry the weight of where you are going will be released. This is not loss. This is positioning. And in the next movement of this message, you will begin to understand how this alignment opens the door to your inheritance and the people assigned to walk with you into it. Chosen one. As this alignment deepens, you may begin to notice how heaven is rearranging your inner world before it ever rearranges your outer circumstances. That is always the order. God secures the vessel before releasing the overflow. I learned this the hard way. There were moments when I wanted the blessing immediately, but my spirit was still reacting from old wounds. Heaven waited not to withhold, but to protect both me and what was coming. Anointed one. This is why your sensitivity has increased. You feel things more clearly now. Certain tones, environments, and intentions register instantly in your spirit. That is not weakness. That is discernment being activated. When heaven prepares you for elevation, it sharpens your awareness so you do not confuse noise for guidance or familiarity for assignment. You are being taught to listen beyond words and see beyond appearances. You may have noticed that some people no longer understand you. Conversations that once flowed now feel shallow. This is not arrogance. This is transition. When your frequency changes, not everyone can follow. I remember feeling guilty for outgrowing certain spaces, as if growth itself was betrayal. But heaven showed me that staying where you no longer belong is the true disobedience. Growth requires release. Chosen one. The isolation you once feared is transforming into clarity. Silence is becoming instruction. Solitude is becoming strategy. This is where God trains kings and queens. Before visibility comes authority, and before authority comes refinement. Your royal family knows this pattern well. That is why they preserved you when others misunderstood you. They were guarding your oil. Pay attention now to how new connections are forming. Some people will recognize you instantly, not because of what you say, but because of what your spirit carries. These are not random encounters. They are divine appointments. I have experienced meetings that lasted minutes but altered years of my life. Heaven is efficient. It does not waste alignment. At the same time, others will drift away. Do not chase them. Anyone removed in this season was removed to protect your purpose. I know it hurts when people you prayed with, struggled with, or dreamed with no longer walk beside you. But heaven hears conversations you never did and sees futures you could not. Trust the separation. Anointed one, you are entering a dimension where your calling begins to feel heavier, not as pressure but as responsibility. It settles on you like a crown, not to burden you but to remind you who you are. You will start seeing the world differently. Fear will lose its authority. Small thinking will feel uncomfortable. Settling will feel impossible. This is identity awakening. Heaven never elevates without cleansing. The sudden endings you experienced were not chaos. They were construction. I remember seasons when everything familiar fell apart at once. It felt like loss, but it was God making room. Only later did I realize how necessary that clearing was. What is being built in your life now requires space. Chosen one, your peace has become your compass. When something disrupts it, pay attention. When something restores it, honor it. You are being guided more by inner confirmation than external validation. That is maturity. This is how heaven teaches you to move with precision instead of panic. Material things may no longer satisfy you the way they once did. You may feel drawn to stillness, reflection, prayer, or healing. That is because your spirit is leading now. Royalty learns discipline before power. You are being shaped to carry blessing without losing humility, influence without losing integrity, and abundance without losing gratitude. I need you to hear this clearly. You were never abandoned. Closed doors protected you from paths that would have drained your purpose. Delays strengthened your discernment. Loneliness sharpened your hearing. Heaven has been preparing you far longer than you realize. Nothing you endured was wasted. Every heartbreak trained you. Every delay refined you. Every silent night strengthened you. The intensity of your journey reveals the depth of your calling. Heaven does not prepare lightly for heavy assignments. As this phase continues, you will notice favor beginning to flow with less resistance. Opportunities will align. Help will arrive without struggle. This is not luck. This is positioning. Your royal family is bringing you into your rightful place. And in the next unfolding, you will begin to see how this inner transformation unlocks not only spiritual inheritance, but tangible breakthrough in ways you never expected. Stay present, chosen one. Do not rush what is unfolding. Honor the process. Protect your spirit. The alignment happening now will soon produce visible fruit. When it does, you will understand why timing mattered, why patience was required, and why heaven insisted on shaping you first. This season will justify every unanswered prayer. Chosen one. There is a moment when preparation shifts into permission, and that moment is approaching you now. Heaven has been observing your consistency, not your perfection, and responding to your obedience, not your performance. I learned that breakthrough does not arrive when everything is flawless, but when the heart is surrendered. That is where you are standing. Anointed One. The reason financial pressure, emotional strain, or spiritual resistance intensified before this season is because transition always provokes exposure. When heaven prepares to elevate you, it first reveals what can no longer remain hidden. This is why certain fears surfaced, why old doubts attempted to speak louder, and why unresolved wounds demanded attention. None of this disqualifies you. It qualifies you. You are not stepping into abundance by accident. You are being trusted with it. Divine provision follows alignment, and alignment begins within. I remember the moment I realized money itself was never the issue. It was capacity. Heaven waits until the hands receiving the blessing will not drop it, misuse it, or worship it. That is why your values were refined before your resources were released. Chosen one, cycles that once repeated without explanation are breaking quietly now. Patterns in relationships, finances, and emotions are losing their grip. You may feel lighter without knowing why. That is because spiritual permission has been granted. What once required effort will soon respond to alignment. This is how supernatural transfer unfolds, subtly, first, visibly later. Pay attention to how opportunities are beginning to recognize you. You are no longer forcing doors. Doors are sensing your readiness. Conversations will shift. People will approach you with ideas, invitations, or assistance that feel strangely aligned. This is not coincidence, it is orchestration. Heaven moves through people, not lightning bolts. Anointed. One, you may also notice an internal strengthening. Your reactions are calmer, your discernment is quicker, your confidence is quieter but firmer. That is authority forming. Authority does not announce itself, it settles. When you walk into a room, now something responds. That response is spiritual recognition. I remember the first time I noticed this change in myself. Situations that once intimidated me suddenly felt manageable. Decisions that once caused anxiety became clear. It was not arrogance, it was alignment. Heaven had recalibrated my inner posture. The same recalibration is happening in you. Chosen one, you are also being trained to steward influence. Influence is not about visibility, it is about responsibility. The reason heaven delays exposure is because influence magnifies everything, including immaturity. That is why your character was tested in obscurity. Now what once drained you will no longer distract you. As this season unfolds, expect divine acceleration, but not chaos. Expect increase, but not overwhelm. Expect favor, but also accountability. You are being entrusted with more because you can now carry more. This is promotion with purpose. There will be moments soon when you look back and realize how suddenly things shifted, yet it will not feel rushed. It will feel right. That is how divine timing works. Heaven does not hurry, but it does not hesitate. Chosen one, stay anchored. Do not compare your pace to others. Your timeline is custom built. The inheritance approaching you has your name on it and requires your exact journey to sustain it. In the next movement, you will begin to see how this transfer affects not only you, but the generations connected to you. What is unfolding now is larger than personal breakthrough. It is legacy awakening. Chosen one. This legacy is not symbolic, it is practical, visible, and transferable. What heaven places in your hands will heal stories before you and rewrite outcomes after you. I have seen one aligned decision shift an entire family trajectory. Your obedience carries weight beyond your lifetime, and that is why heaven has been patient with you, thorough with you, and intentional with your process. As you step forward, you will notice how provision meets purpose, how strength meets assignment, and how peace guards movement. Nothing arriving now will arrive alone. It will arrive connected, supported, and confirmed. This is the nature of divine inheritance. It multiplies through alignment and remains through wisdom. You are not inheriting chaos. You are inheriting clarity, stability, and authority. Remain humble. Remain teachable. Remain attentive. The unfolding ahead will require discernment as much as faith. But you are ready. Heaven would not have called you forward if you were not prepared to stand. Trust the timing, protect the alignment, and move with quiet confidence. What unfolds next will speak louder than explanations ever could, and when it does, you will recognize this moment as the threshold where everything truly changed. This is the turning point your spirit sensed before your circumstances ever reflected it. Stay present and witness heaven complete work. Chosen one. What unfolds next will test not your faith, but your consistency. Breakthrough does not only arrive as a moment, it arrives as a lifestyle adjustment. Heaven is not merely opening a door, it is inviting you to walk differently once you step through it. I learned this when blessings arrived faster than my old habits could keep up. That season required me to mature quickly, not emotionally rush, but spiritually anchor. Anointed one, you are being prepared for visibility that does not seek attention, yet cannot be hidden. When alignment locks in, your life begins to speak without announcement. People notice peace before progress. They sense authority before results. This is because your spirit now carries weight. Heaven is marking you in subtle ways that only those with discernment can recognize. You may soon experience moments where things resolve with unexpected ease. Situations that once required explanation simply dissolve. That ease is not coincidence. It is confirmation that resistance has lost permission. When God authorizes a shift, friction gives way to flow. I remember realizing this when problems that once consumed my energy suddenly stopped demanding my attention. Heaven had settled the matter. Chosen one. Your financial landscape is also being repositioned. This is not reckless abundance or sudden excess without structure. It is provision aligned with responsibility. Heaven releases resources to those who will steward, not squander. That is why your relationship with money has been purified. Fear is leaving. Obsession is fading. Wisdom is taking its place. Anointed one, you are also being trusted with influence over people. Words you speak will begin to land differently. Advice will carry clarity. Presence will calm tension. This is not self-importance. This is spiritual authority cultivated through humility. Authority that does not need to dominate because it is already established. There may be moments when you feel the weight of this calling more strongly, not heaviness, but awareness. A knowing that what you do matters, that how you respond matters, that alignment must be maintained daily. This awareness is the crown settling. You are learning to carry it with grace. I remember the first season when I understood this responsibility. I realized that heaven was watching how I handled quiet days, not just visible ones. Obedience in unseen moments protected the blessing in seen moments. The same principle applies to you. Integrity is the guardian of inheritance. Chosen one, do not be surprised if old temptations attempt to resurface. They return not because you are weak, but because they are losing access. When a door is closing permanently, the knock grows louder. Remain grounded. You have outgrown what once enticed you. Your royal family is surrounding you with reminders. Repeated thoughts, confirmations, timely words, gentle warnings. These are not restrictions, they are protection. You are too valuable to leave unguarded now. Heaven guards what it promotes. Anointed one, this season will also refine your patience. Some things will arrive suddenly, others will unfold gradually. Both are intentional. Speed tests, humility, delay, tests, trust. You are being trained to handle both without losing balance. As you move forward, notice how your priorities shift. What once felt urgent feels irrelevant. What once felt small feels sacred. This is transformation at work. Your spirit is calibrating to eternal values, not temporary pressures. Chosen one, you are not stepping into randomness. You are stepping into order, divine order. Your days will begin to feel more purposeful, your decisions more intentional, your energy more protected. This is alignment stabilizing. There will come a moment soon when you realize you are no longer striving, you are cooperating. That is when peace becomes your dominant state. Peace is not the absence of challenge, it is the presence of assurance. Anointed one, this assurance is your inheritance. It cannot be taken, it cannot be faked, it cannot be rushed. It is earned through surrender, and now it rests on you. In the next unfolding, you will see how this inner stability becomes external confirmation. Resources will align, relationships will solidify, direction will clarify. What once felt uncertain will feel inevitable. Remain faithful in small choices. Remain attentive to inner nudges. Remain anchored in humility. Heaven is not experimenting with you, it is entrusting you. What is ahead will require courage, but not fear. Confidence, but not pride. Movement, but not haste. You are ready because heaven would not proceed otherwise. This season will prove that preparation was not in vain and that patience was not punishment. It was protection shaping you for arrival. Trust this process fully, chosen one, because every unseen adjustment now will support visible expansion soon, and your obedience today secures stability tomorrow in ways you will later recognize as divine precision that safeguards your legacy and honors heaven's timing perfectly forever onward. Chosen one. There comes a phase when heaven stops explaining and starts demonstrating. This is that phase. You have asked for confirmation, and confirmation is arriving through alignment rather than words. What once felt uncertain is beginning to feel settled, not because every detail is visible, but because your spirit recognizes stability forming beneath your feet. I remember reaching this point and realizing peace had replaced urgency. That shift was the signal that heaven had taken the lead. Anointed one, you are learning how to stand without striving. That is not passivity, that is authority. When identity is secure, effort becomes precise instead of exhausting. This is why your energy is changing. You are no longer leaking attention into places that cannot nourish you. Heaven has taught you discernment through experience, not theory, and that discernment is now guarding your momentum. You may notice that conversations are becoming more intentional. Small talk feels unnecessary. You are drawn toward meaning, clarity, and purpose. This is not withdrawal, this is focus. When heaven sharpens vision, distractions lose appeal. I remember feeling strange about this change, at first wondering if something was wrong. But later I understood. Growth demands selectivity. Chosen one, your financial perspective is also being refined. Money is no longer emotional for you, it is becoming functional. Heaven does not bless chaos, it funds clarity. That is why your discipline increased before your provision did. You are being trained to manage increase calmly, wisely, and without fear. This is stewardship forming before supply arrives. Anointed One, expect moments where help arrives without you asking. Someone offers support. An opportunity opens naturally. A resource appears at the right moment. These are not coincidences. They are evidence that alignment is active. Heaven moves quietly but efficiently. When you are positioned correctly, provision recognizes you. You may also notice that resistance no longer startles you. Challenges arise, but they do not shake your foundation. This is emotional maturity solidifying. I remember the first time a situation that would have once overwhelmed me barely disturbed my peace. That was not numbness, that was strength. Chosen One, your royal family is teaching you how to remain grounded as influence grows. Visibility will increase, but your roots must remain deep. This is why humility has been emphasized in you. Pride repels protection. Humility attracts covering. Heaven protects what it entrusts. There will be moments when you are tempted to rush ahead, especially when momentum builds. Do not. Speed without instruction creates imbalance. You are being guided step by step for a reason. Every move now is connected to sustainability, not just success. Anointed One, listen closely to your intuition. It is sharper now. It has been trained through trial and reflection. When something feels misaligned, pause. When something feels peaceful, proceed. Heaven is speaking through inner confirmation more than external signs in this season. You are also becoming more aware of legacy. Your choices feel heavier because they matter beyond you. This awareness is not pressure, it is purpose. I remember realizing that my obedience would outlive me. That understanding changed how I approached everything. Chosen One, your days ahead will not be perfect, but they will be purposeful. You will not avoid challenges, but you will face them equipped. The uncertainty that once haunted you is giving way to quiet confidence. That confidence is not self-made, it is heaven-rooted. As this phase continues, you will see how consistency unlocks expansion. Small, faithful actions will produce lasting outcomes. This is how divine systems operate. Heaven rewards alignment over urgency, faithfulness over force. Remain attentive, remain humble, remain willing. What you are stepping into now will require you to stay connected to the source that brought you here. Do not disconnect from stillness. Do not abandon gratitude. Do not forget who shaped you. The transfer unfolding is not only about what you receive, it is about who you become while receiving it. And that becoming is your greatest inheritance. When you look back, you will recognize this season as the moment your life stabilized, your vision clarified, and your future secured. This is not the peak. It is the foundation. Everything built from here will stand because it is rooted in alignment, obedience, and divine order working together perfectly now. Chosen One. This next phase is where heaven begins to confirm outwardly what was already settled inwardly. Alignment moves from internal certainty into visible evidence. You may notice results forming quietly, without drama, without announcement, yet with undeniable clarity. I remember when this happened in my own life. Nothing felt rushed, yet everything began to work. That was how I knew heaven had sealed the transition. Anointed One. You are now being trained to recognize confirmation without needing reassurance. Signs will come, but they will not beg for attention. They will simply align. A conversation lands at the right moment. A delay protects instead of frustrates. An unexpected opening answers a prayer you stopped repeating. This is how divine orchestration operates when timing is mature. You may also sense a growing separation between urgency and obedience. Before, urgency drove your decisions. Now, obedience guides them. That shift is critical. Urgency reacts. Obedience responds. Heaven trusts those who can wait without drifting and move without panicking. That trust is being extended to you. Chosen one. Your discernment is no longer defensive, it is constructive. You are not constantly guarding against harm. You are building toward purpose. This is a subtle but powerful change. When fear loses authority, creativity gains space. When anxiety quiets, wisdom speaks clearly. I remember realizing this when I stopped replaying old conversations and started anticipating future responsibility. My attention shifted forward. That is happening for you now. Your mind is no longer anchored to survival. It is orienting toward stewardship. Anointed One stewardship is the true measure of readiness. Heaven does not release abundance to impress you, but to empower you. That is why your values were tested before your resources expanded. You are being prepared to hold increase without losing center. Expect moments when you're asked to choose integrity over convenience. These moments may seem small, but they carry weight. Each one confirms trust. Heaven builds authority through consistent obedience in ordinary situations. This is how spiritual credibility is established. Chosen. One relationships will also recalibrate. Some will deepen naturally, others will fade without conflict. Do not force either direction. Alignment determines proximity now. I have learned that forcing connection delays clarity. Allow heaven to arrange your circle. You may notice that your presence carries a calming effect. People feel understood without being managed, heard without being controlled. This is influence without manipulation, authority without force. It comes from alignment, not strategy. Anointed One. There may be moments when you feel the temptation to explain yourself. Resist it. Explanation often comes from insecurity. Alignment does not require defense. When heaven confirms you, explanations become unnecessary. As provision begins to stabilize, your relationship with time will also change. You will become more intentional, less reactive, more discerning about where your energy flows. This is not withdrawal, it is wisdom. You are learning to protect what produces fruit. Chosen One, do not underestimate the power of routine faithfulness. Heaven often advances destiny through consistency rather than intensity. Small, aligned actions create sustainable outcomes. This is how legacies are built quietly. You are also becoming more comfortable with silence. Silence no longer feels empty. It feels instructive. That is maturity. When God trusts you with silence, it means guidance has been internalized. Anointed One. This phase may feel less dramatic than previous ones. That is intentional. Chaos trained you. Stability will establish you. Heaven does not keep you in survival mode once alignment is complete. I remember expecting fireworks and instead receiving clarity. That clarity outlasted emotion. The same will be true for you. What is forming now will not fade when feelings shift. Chosen One, remain grounded. Gratitude will keep your heart soft. Discipline will keep your steps steady. Humility will keep your covering intact. These are not optional, they are safeguards. As this season continues, you will notice how confidence replaces questioning, peace replaces pressure, direction replaces confusion. This is the evidence of divine timing fulfilled. You are not arriving late, you are arriving prepared. Heaven does not rush its chosen, it refines them. And now refinement is giving way to release. The unfolding ahead will confirm what your spirit already knows. You were never overlooked. You were being shaped. This phase will reveal that truth without argument. Stand steady, chosen one. What is unfolding now will speak for itself. Alignment has been secured. Authority is forming. The path is opening. Chosen one. This phase invites you to recognize something subtle yet powerful. You are no longer waiting for permission to become who you already are. Heaven has shifted from preparing you to partnering with you. That partnership changes how you move, how you listen, and how you decide. I remember the moment this realization settled in me. It wasn't dramatic. It was grounding. I understood that responsibility had increased, not because I was being tested, but because I was being trusted. Anointed one. Trust from heaven does not come with noise, it comes with expectation. You will notice that guidance now feels quieter, more internal, less urgent. This is not absence, it is maturity. When a child is learning, instructions are constant. When a leader is formed, guidance becomes collaborative. You are being treated as someone who can carry insight without constant direction. This is why your intuition feels stronger than ever. You are not guessing anymore. You are discerning. Discernment does not shout. It confirms. It brings a calm certainty that does not require consensus. I have learned that when heaven entrusts you with discernment, it expects you to honor it, even when others do not understand your decisions. Chosen one. This is also a season where your boundaries matter more than your availability. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not every request deserves your response. This is not selfishness, it is stewardship. I remember learning this lesson after saying yes too often and realizing that obedience had been replaced by obligation. Heaven corrected me gently but firmly. Alignment requires limits. You may find that your circle continues to refine itself. Fewer people, deeper connections, less noise, more clarity. This is not loneliness. This is focus. Those meant to walk with you will not compete with your peace. They will contribute to it. Anointed one, expect your influence to begin showing up in quiet ways. People may seek your perspective. Your words may bring calm where there was confusion. This is not accidental. Influence rooted in alignment does not need to be promoted. It is recognized. Heaven has been cultivating your voice long before it amplified your platform. You may also notice that old insecurities surface briefly, as if asking for one last review. This is normal. When a season closes, the mind often revisits familiar patterns. Do not entertain them. They are echoes, not warnings. Growth always triggers a final attempt from what is being left behind. Chosen one, you are also being trained to rest without guilt. Rest is not retreat. It is replenishment. Heaven does not reward exhaustion. It honors obedience. I remember believing that rest meant losing momentum, only to discover that rest actually preserved clarity. In this season, rest will sharpen you, not slow you. Your relationship with success is changing as well. Success is no longer about proving anything. It is about fulfilling assignment. That shift protects you from comparison and competition. You are no longer running someone else's race. You are walking your own path with confidence. Anointed one, be attentive to how joy is returning in small ways. Laughter feels lighter. Gratitude feels deeper. Peace feels more accessible. These are not distractions, they are confirmations. Heaven restores joy alongside purpose because joy sustains obedience. There may be moments when you are tempted to look back and measure how far you've come. Reflection is healthy. Regression is not. Do not return to old versions of yourself out of familiarity. Honor them, thank them, and release them. They brought you here, but they cannot go where you are headed. Chosen. One legacy is becoming clearer now, not as pressure, but as vision. You are beginning to see beyond immediate outcomes into lasting impact. Decisions carry generational weight. This awareness is not meant to burden you, it is meant to guide you. I remember the first time I understood that my obedience would ripple into lives I would never meet. That realization shifted how I approached everything. The same understanding is settling into you now. Your choices matter far beyond today. Anointed. One, heaven is not rushing you because what you are building must last. Speed produces visibility. Consistency produces stability. You are being shaped for stability. That is why alignment has been emphasized more than acceleration. As you continue forward, trust what has been formed within you. You do not need constant confirmation. You are becoming confirmation. Your life is beginning to speak for itself. There will be days ahead when you realize that what once required faith now requires faithfulness. That is growth. Faithfulness is faith matured. It does not doubt God's ability. It cooperates with God's timing. Chosen one, remain grounded. Protect your peace. Honor your discernment. Stay connected to the source that brought you here. What unfolds next will not shock your spirit because your spirit has been prepared. You are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into alignment made visible. Heaven is walking with you, not ahead of you, not behind you, but with you. This partnership will define the next chapter of your life. And as it unfolds, you will recognize that everything you endured was shaping you for this level of trust, authority, and peace working together seamlessly now. Chosen one. This movement you are in now is not about reaching something distant, but about fully inhabiting what has already been entrusted to you. What heaven revealed within you was never meant to remain internal. It was meant to be lived, expressed, embodied. This is the season where alignment becomes visible through your choices, your boundaries, your discipline, and your peace. Many people misunderstand this phase because it feels quieter than breakthrough moments, yet it carries far more authority. I remember standing here myself, realizing that the next level did not require louder faith, but deeper consistency. Anointed one embodiment means you no longer separate spiritual insight from everyday life. The wisdom you receive in stillness now governs how you respond in pressure, how you speak in conflict, how you choose when opportunity appears. This is maturity. Heaven does not look for people who visit spirituality only in moments of need. Heaven partners with those who carry alignment as a lifestyle. That is what you are stepping into now, and it is why your discernment has sharpened so noticeably. You may feel less driven to explain yourself, to prove your value, or to seek affirmation. That is not withdrawal. That is security. When identity is anchored, approval loses its grip. I learned that true confidence is calm, not performative. It does not rush to be seen. It rests in knowing. The same calm authority is settling into you now, and it will speak louder than effort ever could. Chosen one. This phase also brings personal responsibility into sharper focus. You are no longer waiting for conditions to become perfect before you move. You move because alignment is present. Heaven supplies direction, but obedience supplies momentum. This is partnership. It is no longer about asking if you are ready. It is about trusting that readiness was formed through obedience long before you noticed it. There may be moments when fear tries to return disguised as caution or logic. Learn to discern the difference. Wisdom pauses with clarity. Fear delays endlessly. You have been trained to recognize which voice is speaking. Trust that training. Heaven would not bring you this far, only to leave you uncertain now. Anointed One, your environment will increasingly reflect your internal order. As you maintain alignment, stability increases and chaos loses access. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means they no longer dominate. You address them from authority rather than reaction. I remember the moment problems stopped feeling like threats and began feeling like tasks. That shift changed everything. The same shift is anchoring in you now. Chosen One. You are also learning how to receive without guilt. Many hesitate here, feeling undeserving or cautious about fully accepting blessing. Release that hesitation. Humility does not reject provision. It honors the source. Receive with gratitude, steward with wisdom, and remain grounded. That balance preserves abundance. What heaven gives you is not meant to burden you with shame. It is meant to empower you to serve with clarity and peace. Anointed One generosity will begin to flow naturally, not from pressure, but from overflow. You will know when to give, where to invest, and how to support without depletion. Heaven guides generosity with precision. Trust that guidance. Giving will no longer feel like sacrifice. It will feel like alignment. You may notice that your voice carries more weight now, even when you speak less. Your words are measured. Your silence is intentional. This is authority expressed through restraint. It is powerful because it is controlled. You are no longer reacting emotionally. You are responding intentionally. Chosen One as visibility increases discernment must remain active. Not every invitation is alignment. Not every opportunity is assignment. You are equipped to know the difference. When peace confirms, proceed. When tension warns, pause. I learned that saying no protected my yes. That lesson will protect you as well. You are not called to everything. You are called to what is yours. Anointed One, stillness will remain essential even as life becomes fuller. Stillness is no longer waiting. It is communion. It is where recalibration happens. It is where you listen, adjust, and remain aligned. Do not abandon it. Stillness is not inactivity. It is maintenance. You're also entering a rhythm where work and rest support each other. Hustle is being replaced by flow. Effort is being replaced by intention. This does not reduce productivity. It multiplies it sustainably. Burnout no longer has authority over you because alignment regulates your pace. Gratitude will deepen during this season, not forced, but natural. Gratitude keeps your heart open and your spirit grounded. It reminds you where everything came from and keeps pride from gaining access. Gratitude stabilizes abundance. Chosen One, do not fear the weight of this season. You were prepared for it. Every delay refined you. Every disappointment clarified you. Every silent stretch strengthened you. Nothing was wasted. Even the moments that felt unnecessary were shaping capacity you would need now. This is not the end of your becoming. It is the beginning of stewardship. What you carry now will grow through faithfulness. What you manage now will multiply through wisdom. Heaven entrusts increase to those who respect process. You may find that you no longer chase outcomes. You cooperate with process. This shift will bring peace even when outcomes are still forming. Trust does not require visible evidence. It rests in alignment. Chosen one, walk forward with quiet confidence. You do not need to announce what is happening. It will be seen. You do not need to convince anyone. Alignment speaks for itself. Let consistency do what explanation never could. Heaven is not observing from a distance. It is walking with you, sustaining what it has established. Trust the process that brought you here. Honor the discipline that shaped you. Remain connected to the source that continues to guide you. This is your season of embodiment. Live what has been revealed. Carry what has been entrusted. Move with humility and assurance together. What unfolds from here will reflect not only blessing received, but identity fully expressed in every area of your life. Chosen one. As this moment comes to rest, allow your spirit to remain still for just a breath. Heaven has sealed something sacred within you. What you received today was not random, not emotional coincidence, and not imagination. It was released by divine timing, aligned with the exact moment your spirit was ready to remember who you are. You are not ordinary. You are not late. You are not overlooked. Anointed one, the supernatural transfer spoken over your life is already in motion. You're standing in your Kairos moment, the intersection where preparation meets fulfillment. Heaven has begun to rearrange what you could not move on your own. Angels are aligning paths, doors are loosening, and the weight you carried for years is lifting quietly but permanently. This is confirmation. This is alignment. Chosen one, walk forward now with reverence and holy confidence. You were shaped by fire, but you rise in clarity. Nothing you endured was wasted. Every tear watered the ground of what is about to emerge. Remain faithful, stay aligned, keep your spirit sensitive to the whispers of heaven, because guidance will come gently, not loudly. What lies ahead will make sense of everything behind you. Gratitude will become your language. Peace will become your posture. Authority will rest on you without effort. Your royal identity is no longer hidden. Your true family is calling, and heaven is walking with you into what comes next. If this word resonated, you may quietly mark your agreement in the comments or share it with another chosen one who needs remembrance. Go now with assurance. You are crowned, covered, and called. Your royal season has begun.